So there are many misconceptions when it comes to these three: Jonathan Joestar, Dio Brando, and the world. First one is that the world is Jonathan's stand. The second one is that the world is the spirit of Jonathan, or even is Jonathan in a sense. And then there's one that's like the world's ability is to copy the ability of all the Joestars. First of all, let's talk about why it's not Jonathan's stand. Well, let me put my best foot forward and to not beat around the bush. If you guys aren't caught up with JoJo, where you're going to have to go to the second foot forward, here's a timestamp for it, meaning yes, I'm giving you a spoiler alert, and yes, the second reason will be less important than the first reason. So you ready? Okay? Good. Alright, first of all, if you're caught up with JoJo, you're probably not thinking that the world is Jonathan's stand. I highly doubt that. Majority of the people that think the world is Jonathan's stand had finished DIU and that's it. Well, we know that in Steel Ball Run, alternate world Dio's stand is the world. So far, this has been the main stand that had a connection to the main timeline. Now, we don't know if our main timeline is actually the prime timeline. It could be an offspring of a different one. Not sure, because JoJo could possibly get even more and more complex the further it goes on. But off of canon and not headcanon, there are multiple universes and dimensions in JoJo. While there are so many of both, you still have to have a prime timeline to base it all off of. So the timeline where Pucci beats Jotaro and Jolene is the main one, where Dio's prime stand is the world. I'm going to be doing a video on both alternate universes and alternate dimensions because it's a very confusing topic when it comes to it. Now, for the second reason, stands are not fully based on the body. Stands are meant to be the physical manifestations of your fighting spirit. So you have the stand arrow that activated Dio and Jonathan's stand. The world is Dio's stand, but then you have Hermit Purple number 2, which would be Jonathan's stand. I have multiple videos explaining why Hermit Purple is Jonathan's and all the connections, but all that I really don't want to talk about it because I've done it so much. So just know the reason why is because of a phenomenon that had ran through the blood of Jonathan Joestar in his body. Now, for the world is the spirit of Jonathan. Okay, the reason why that wouldn't work is because that just does not make sense. If you guys watched both Stardust Crusaders and Diamond is Unbreakable, you know how spirits work. There's possibilities of seeing them while they pass, but there's no way that you're going to grab the spirit of Jonathan, stuff it into his body while Dio is attaching his head onto Jonathan's body. He's severing it and reattaching his head onto it and making all the fusion connections and all that, and you have it underwater for 100 years. You can't conserve a spirit with no stand, and even when having stands, it has to be a specific stand like the Darby Brothers stands. The truth about spirits is that the best thing you can do is get an actual conversation from them when you're somewhat close to death. If not, your best chance is getting some final words and a farewell. Now for the last one, Dio has the ability to copy all the Joestars. That's what the world is. That's the reason why he has Hermit Purple. That's the reason why he's able to stop time, and as far as we knew in Stardust Crusaders, that was it. Now, that itself is a pretty interesting thought, because it would work technically if we do disregard Giorno being alive while this is happening, and Josuke didn't have Crazy Diamond either, and Jolene wasn't born. So, could this work? No. The same reason as the first reason, and along with that, their Hermit Purple works differently. I won't repeat it again. The first reason, because the people that I told to go to the timestamp are right here, and since the same reasoning, it won't matter to say so. I would like to tell you to go read the manga, but at the same time, some people want to wait for part 5 and then just watch it then and hopefully avoid spoilers. That's a really risky thing. Like me being myself, I had to dodge spoilers here and there, and even then I still got spoiled for it, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna end up reading it. So it's either that you just wait and hopefully avoid spoilers, or you read and just enjoy the anime for the anime. I had done that for DIU and the experience was obvious. Like, it was obviously different because of the manga versus anime. It's two different things. But what's our main conclusion? The world is not Jonathan's stand. Jonathan does not have the world. Jonathan is not the world. And the world's true ability is not the fusion of all the Joestar powers. Thank you guys for watching. I really wanted to clear up some misconceptions. I feel like there's way more, especially when it comes to like certain stands too. Like, people really do not know how certain stands work at all, because the whole assumption, there's a few stands. You guys can, some people can put that in the comment section where you guys just like, you obviously know. How you guys want to know, how does insert stand work? Because there's many memes on insert stand here, and it's just like, how does it actually? I'm not talking about King Crimson or whatever, but like, there's many stands where they get brought up multiple times because it's like, hey, this could possibly be broken or something like that. But you know, it doesn't look like something people would actually take seriously. But you know, internet, like this whole video itself, it's just like, does anyone actually think like this? And you'd be massively surprised. Yes, it's very much true. That's the only reason why I made this, because a lot of people have been telling me, wouldn't the world be Jonathan Stan? The world is Jonathan Stan, and yada yada and all that stuff. But basically, I usually end it off with a question for you guys. I would like to know, what games do you, what exactly do you guys want me to see? What's I'm gonna be streaming, basically. I can't form the words for it, but I'm going to be streaming a lot more, especially since the summer is coming, and I want to know what games do you guys want to be seeing playing, because let me tell you this, there's not that many JoJo games to begin with, but I would love for us to play through games, because there's subscribers here, and I'm just like, okay, I would love to play through games that we both can like experience and enjoy together. Sometimes you guys can help me out through it, or you guys can pick certain things for me so we can get through this together. It'd be really great and be really interesting to go through it all, but you know, because it's like we can play through Eyes of Heaven, but that's like, oh my god, we very much like JoJo, but it's like there's definitely more things to life. There's it's surprising, it's very complexing. It's like, wow, there's more stuff than JoJo. But I'm sorry for adding on too much, but I want to know what games you guys want to see streamed. I might put a poll for like what type of game. Generally, I like Nintendo games. There might be there might be more games to where it's like, oh, this is on the PS2. This is I can, you know, it's games in general. But yeah. So tell me what games or whatever, or we could even just stream us talking, like legitimately. Sometimes I just want to talk to viewers. I could just set it to like creative or I think IRL is the specific type of stream where I just talk to viewers, because you guys, there's many conversations, like we can just speculate and just have like a little JoJo podcast when it comes to it. That actually might be good. If you guys want a JoJo podcast too, I'm gonna put that in the poll. Thank God for people like you that had made it to this far out. I'm gonna put a podcast in the top right corner. If you guys see it, we can have a little podcast and just like where we just talk about shit. It doesn't even have to be JoJo. It could just be a podcast in general, or just like questions and answers and all. But thank you guys for watching. It's Kaleb, and I talk a lot. But thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and Godspeed.